Can the police search your car without a warrant in Alabama? There you are, you're out driving along and there's the flashing blue lights. Next thing you know, there's a cop by the side of your car. Mind if I have a quick look around? You probably do, but I don't know what your answer is going to be. If you say the wrong words, you've probably given up some of your rights. As a defense lawyer, we see this a lot, so be careful. The general rule is that the police, under the Fourth Amendment, cannot just stop and have a look-see. They can't look around. Now, there's all sorts of different kinds of exceptions, and there's volumes of books written about this. Plain view, well, if they see lying in your car, there's a sack of weed, it's fair game for them. That kind of thing happens all the time. There's some pills, there's something like that. But the general rule is that unless you give consent or there's some other reason, the cops can't fish around in your vehicle. There are exceptions, and the one that I'm really addressing here is what's called a consent search. And the police will say, oh, well, you're nervous or whatever. And you may be nervous, and you may want to go home, and you might think, well, gee, I better agree. I'll go home sooner. Before you agree, you have to realize that you've just given permission to the officer to fish through your stuff, and whatever the object of the search could be something hidden in your car. You may have forgotten about that sack of weed, whatever it was, those pills that are in your cigarette case or in your glove box or whatever. Be careful. As I said, there are exceptions. One of them is what we call a probable cause exception. A very big one in Alabama is because Alabama still has marijuana as being illegal. So cops, and they use this all the time, whether it's true or not true, but a cop very, very frequently will go, I smell weed. Well, whether that's true or not, if they're saying that they smell marijuana, under Alabama law, that gives them grounds to search your vehicle. And that's why a lot of them will claim to smell marijuana, whether it's true or not. I always ask my clients, could you smell marijuana? Sometimes it's, oh yeah, there's a hot box in there. And sometimes it's like, no, I just washed my car. I don't smoke in the car. Depends on the facts of your case. You can politely refuse the search. So you can just say, no, officer, I'm sorry, I don't consent to the search of my vehicle. I understand I have rights. Now, the officer may search anyway, but what that does, if he searches anyway, is it may give your lawyer legal grounds. They can only detain you for a limited amount of time, and they have to have reasons for doing so. So if the officer is detaining you longer than he should, if he doesn't have probable cause, if he doesn't have reasonable grounds to keep you there, well, they're supposed to let you go. And if they don't, later on, the judge might say, you can't use that evidence, and throw out the evidence. I remember I had a drug case. I was able to keep out the evidence of drugs. Well, what's the prosecutor? I kind of looked at the prosecutor, what now? I mean, how does he prove a drug case if he can't talk about the drugs? So you want to try to protect your future, and the best way of doing that is to gently and politely, don't be a wise guy, because they'll look for everything they can to mess you up, any other charges, but to politely say, gee, officer, I don't want to consent. If you want to get a warrant, I understand that's your job, but I'm not agreeing to the search of my vehicle. We lawyers fight back a number of ways. Most common is motion to suppress on a drug case or any other evidence. And there's things that a lawyer could do. You want to allow your lawyer to have those tools, which you give up when you consent. So, go ahead, look around. You probably want to think about not doing that. If you're in some kind of a legal issue, criminal problem here in North Alabama, and you want our help, give us a call. I would encourage you, whether it's us or somebody else, you want to get an experienced lawyer to help you, because it can make all the difference in the world. If you want our help, give us a call. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy these videos.